So, what do you guys think after watching my recent videos?
So basically, it's very different from what we see nowadays in the Wing Chun community. All right. So, like you mentioned, the term internal art is abused, misunderstood, and foreshadowed by lots of myths and misconceptions. Whereas in reality, what the ancients mean is a proper technology that can be verified by today's sports science as well. So it has nothing to do with the mystical or the supernatural. It's something related to the human body and the technology and the abilities that we can develop uh, in a few weeks, like you said, but not master, of course, in a few weeks, but we can develop, we can know what it is in a few weeks without speculating and without guessing.
Yes, and I have to say, like you explained in your last few videos, where you say externally you condition your bones, sinews, and muscles, and internally you condition your breathing. And like you say like you said in your videos, the breathing is the basic for fighting, and the fighting is for needs to have the breathing, and if you don't have it, so it's yeah, it's impossible to become a good fighter, or impossible to recover yourself. So was really clear. It was a lot of um, information you gave to us, and I made so many notes, and yes, it was great. Thank you for sharing that.
Actually, I am trying to let the world right now switch to another new volume of Wing Chun. Past 130 years of Wing Chun never really worked. And today I want to share with you, all this training never really works. So people can be good, not because of Wing Chun, because either they are born strong, more aggressive, or they study other things like BJJ, Western boxing, or the other martial arts, like the other like Hakka martial arts, Southern praying mantis, those kind of stuff. But it never is Wing Chun. I'm going to prove to you today, okay? Wing Chun cannot go on this way. Of course, people are free to do what they want, but people need to know the truth, okay? Now, let me share with you this. So as what I shared the other day, in order for one be able to do this, in order for one be able to fight in the short strike way, which is Shaolin short strike, which is a mother art of Wing Chun, this is the basic. It's like a BJJ's mother art is Jiu-Jitsu, okay? So we need to know the core. In order to be able to do this, do this, do this. See, this is a very clear explanation already. 360 degree. From the back, from the side, from the front. It really clearly tells you what it is. Like you don't go argue with the Jiu-Jitsu people, the Jiu-Jitsu classic, if you practice other type of Jiu-Jitsu art, where you call it Jiu-Jitsu. Am I right, Daniel?
Yes, definitely.
Because when you talk about like BJJ, BJJ has to base on jiu-jitsu. And nobody's in their right mind is going to argue. Like if you practice karate, you're not going to argue about the bubishi of Okinawa. You're not going to argue with that, okay? And it's like these few days people argue with me. Well, Hendrik, how come you know the qi, xing qi from Dantian, blah, 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 blah. You know what? All those are empty argument. Karateka will not argue with you on the Okinawan Day Bubishi. You want to argue, just show that you have no idea what you're talking about, okay? So it is very serious education problem. Now, in order to be able to do what I share with you just now, that 360-degree stuff, this thing must be fulfilled, meaning your basic stand, or meaning your body handling, which is within the body handling, you have the breathing capability, the Xing Qi to Dantian. And Xing Qi to Dantian capability in today is one is deep breathing, another one is intra-abdominal pressure in scientific language. Okay? Now, you look at this real Shaolin. Look at how the core here. Look at how the core, this is a 100-year-old photo, but you look at the core, you look at this thing there, like the belt there. You look at all those things. So, you ask the questions. Why do you have that belt there? Well, in today's life, people know about the intra-abdominal pressure and the breathing thing. And if you don't have the core stability and the breathing, you just cannot do the job. Okay, now. So this is the writing. And this is the intra-abdominal pressure. Now, in past 130 years, disregard of who in Wing Chun, you can argue on you need to have the structure, you need to have this mind power, you need to have your way of Iji Kam Yong Ma, you need to have this way, that way, that way for past 130 years. But guess what? Everybody missing one very clear, very important thing, very deadly stuff. And what is that? You look at this closely. You look at this closely. You look at between the rib and the hip here, this is void. This part is void. You guys see that? That is this part. Now, you can argue saying that you want to lifting your anus, straighten your spine, have your energy go this way, have your chi, and then Wing Chun is Nim like mind power. But wait a minute, sir. You have no way to handle this part of your spine because there's no muscle here. There is no muscle here. You see that? So, the science know that you need to have the pressure and the your muscle inside out, outside in order to cover this part. Just 1 second. Somehow it gets stuck. Now, so you need the inside out, outside in, pressurized here in order to cover this part, which is this part. Okay? So tell me, in past 100 years, how the thing can work if you do not have this cover? You talk about your straight spine, your lifting anus, your mind power, your structure, but sorry, you have a big flaw inside there. You have a hole inside there where you are not covered in your physical body. So your body have no training on this part, meaning that you don't have the core, you don't have the inside out, outside in to stabilize, to protect your spine. Because if you don't have that intra-abdominal pressure and so forth, this core handling, your spines will go in a high speed, in a high intensity stuff. Okay? Now, so how does it work here without that part? How does it work here without that part? So just for basic science, you know the entire sets training, the entire basic training doesn't work because you do not know how to handle this part. While real Shaolin, look at what is there. It's like your weightlifting belt there, supporting belt there. Like your bracing of your abdomen, which is handling your intra-abdominal pressure, and meaning bracing and handling your core stability. Well, is this serious? So if you're keeping talking about, can you handle, we usually talking about, yeah, can your Wing Chun work, operate under pressure? Can your Wing Chun operate under pressure? Well, you know that it cannot handle under pressure because you simply do not have that parts. You couldn't even handle your very basic of the body. Am I right? So you want to look at the reality? This is how you train with whatever your thing. Look at it. pay attention to the core part. Now, I show you again. Pay attention to the core part. You can talk about all the structure, whatever you want, everything you want. Okay, just look at how they handle their body and the core and so forth. Now, let's look at the real life. What is in the real life? Look at the core. Is your Wing Chun work? This is the reality. 130 years. You want everybody going down? Sure, you can going down if you want, but no way we want the ancestor to go down because they didn't tell you that. They didn't teach you that. And then also the young generation, you want to train a little kid, little girl for self-defense, or your sister or your daughter or your mom or your aunt on those things, which you don't like the flight attendant. Can you handle one strike in? The entire world might not like this video. But sorry, not the entire world don't like it. You put people in a dangerous zone. So until you can handle this part, handle your spine, protect your spine in that interchange, the exchange. Look at the core. Look at the core. Look at the core. Pay attention to the core. Until you can handle that in and out, you cannot handle anything. Well, why? Because other people train that way. Now, so look back about this. What is the chance, you think? Just first 5 seconds.
Nothing.
What is the chance?
Only hand techniques.
There's nothing. You can tell right from, if you watch the core handling, you can tell right away they are unstable. They can't look at the body. So they're all the time they are unstable versus the girl doing karate. She's completely stable. You can tell right away. She could shoot in any time, and you know, and even if she gets hit, she knows how to move. So if you're unstable with your core, that's crazy. That's really dangerous.
Okay, so this is the teaching of the 1850. This is the teaching of the 1850. You're going to follow that or follow that 130 years of who know what the heck it is? That's why you will never be able to fight short strike, because you don't have the core training. And if you say about talking about hand techniques, or can your techniques handle pressure, work under pressure, just look at that. You know whether you can handle pressure or not. Of course, you can bully. Okay, I'm 60, you are 35, and you are strong, you can bully me. But does it mean that you have the Wing Chun, can work under pressure? Are you serious? Versus those who really train?
No, that's stupid. It's really stupid. I mean, somebody who's young fights somebody who's
It's called bullying.
30 years older. Yeah, that's bullying. Yes, totally.
So the issue right now, is, don't the world deserve to see what problem they get into now? Don't you want to change it right away?
Yeah.
I mean, the guy who asked you about the Xing Qi to the Dantian, they only care about those terms, looking for those terms instead of asking, okay, Henrik, how do you do that? Can you I try to do that, instead of trying it and ask you questions,
You know,
how to develop or to
you know the
improve.
problem.
I don't know.
You know the problem. The problem is people is educated in arguing nonsense. The teacher never know what is the teaching. They create their own terms, and then they never experience anything. And that's why you create all kinds of students who only can argue. Argue for what? Argue for nonsense, because they don't know the ancients is teaching, what ancient they're teaching. They don't know what is the sports science today, what is the opponent have.
Yes. People, Wing Chun people, sorry, Henry, Wing Chun people nowadays, they only chasing techniques, looking for techniques, and chasing Chinese terms. That's all. And as soon as you mention a Chinese term, they go like, oh, a Chinese term. I want to know more about the Chinese term, instead of asking, what is it about?
So,
you know, this is
so this is the thing. Don't give me all the Chinese term.
right.
Okay. Don't give me all the Chinese term. What I want to see is this, and everybody need to see is this. This is the stuff you want to see. Real life on your handling of this part. You can argue about all the terms, your lineage, or whatever you want, but as soon as you cannot do this and you do this, we know you don't know. So it is not about who is the oldest, the most authentic, who have the say. No. The ancestor of Wing Chun have the say. The Chinese culture have the say. The science have the say. And your opponent have the say. Because you are going to face this type of stuff. Look at the core. That's why you know that they never train like this. Change direction, strike. Driving with your core. Straight in. This is for the taking the thing, the strike. And then here is actually changing direction. You see that? Okay. Okay, here. You see the change direction. right? You see the changing of the direction when you're doing the full charge in. If you don't do that, if you don't do that, you don't do the forward, backward with that, you'll end up this way. Because you never train. So if we don't straighten this out, this major flaw in Wing Chun, we not be able to face Xi Xiaodong. And you want those flight attendants to get KO when people charge in? Look at the karate go when he change in directions and be able to go forward, backward to take in the core and so forth. Those are just basic. Let's not talk about who's the #1 fighter in the world or what hand techniques. Get that straight. Because in your in the Wing Chun riding, the first thing is tell you about your basic stand. It tell you about this. Body handling, 心气度丹田. That's what I mean. And then if you don't like about that, and then you want to talk about Shaolin and anything, well, just go check it, and then go also make sure to understand why the Chinese wear the belt there for training. So what do you guys think?
And it's straight to the point. I mean, you told us or showed the world, or proved to the world how important all these scientific stuff, like the breathing, the recovery part, what do you need for fighting, all that stuff. I mean, there's so much information out there, and if I compare it with all the stuff with what you have showed to us, with how, for example, Western boxing prepare for a fight, how they go through hell to do that. They do everything, do the recovery, they do this, do that, all the stuff, all the things that you have mentioned, they also do it to prepare themselves for a fight. And this is important. They go with science. They measure the how hard they can hit. They measure the muscle endurance. They do everything. And why shouldn't we do it as well as Wing Chuners? What is the point not to do that?
Yeah, and like we saw in the videos as well, without the proper core handling, there's no high intensity handling,
Right.
so it all fails. So it's very important to develop this proper core
So
handling.
you want to argue with me on your Wing Chun? You better open your eyes, because the way how you want to argue will get wiped out. It doesn't matter what is what, because right now, by evidence we see, don't tell me any training, anything. I know that your this part have nothing to protect your spine. Thus, you cannot move fast. Probably you are born stronger than other people, but most of the people in general, they don't know how. And if you are born that you are stronger than other people, like born a tiger, they have their way, they can naturally brace and everything, that's fine. But that got nothing to do with Wing Chun, because that's you. Look at the flight attendants just now. Compare those training with the Kyokushin girls training. How many seconds can you last? And you see this very clearly here. So Let me be the bad guy. Let me open this thing up to the world. Those who want to change need to change right now. Those who don't want, they can stay whatever they want. They can keeping talking Chinese term and mysterious and all internal Tai Chi and whatever. I just show with you. Even the Tai Chi guy who fight the Xi Xiaodong have know that. He have never trained that thing. So you want to fight, it's not your Tan Bong Fu. These people look at your core. Once they see your core, they see you weak, they're going to just walk through you. Now, if you are strong in the core, then it is an angle play. That's where the Kung Fu is. So it is not just Chinese term or idea or internal. No internal can save us. No mantra can save us unless you develop, you know clearly you need to develop that core or the body strength, or the term in Mandarin is called 身法身力. In Cantonese is 三法三力. In English is body handling and body strength. If you don't have that, 200 something years ago, the Shaolin Short Strike Classic already tell you, that's the bottom line. 460 years ago, Qi Ji Guang already have that specific out. Without that, you cannot play the 32 momentum handling. The scholar of the Chinese scholar, do they know? Sure they know. Sure they know. They know. The issue is this. So this is saying that people do not understand what is the teaching of the ancient and have no interest to study. The Chinese Kung Fu become like this today. I think about it, it just feels really sad. That's what say in this book. Okay, the classical analysis and discussions of the Ming and Qing dynasty martial art. So I want to leave with you guys with this. It is not Hendrik. It is the Chinese culture right now got a problem. It is now Wing Chun, all the sets, all the practice is no longer what it is. So that's what I like to share with you guys today. Talk to you guys. Hope that you can understand what I'm talking about.